in today's video, we're going to be ranking UFC fighter sauce list. S tier, the most roided up fighters. Fighters I'm confident are on some sort of sauce. D tier, fighters, they're probably not on something. They might be just because they're fighters, but they're probably not on something. They might be a pipsqueak. They might have pillow punches. They might have no cardio. Some reason or the other, I think they're not on sauce. So let's get into this. Our first fighter we have on this list, Merab. Merab, I think he's D tier, to be honest with you. I think he just goes on a couple jogs every day, maybe hits the sauna once every week for some good lung health, better cardio and everything. I don't think he's on any sort of sauce. Just pure genetics, maybe rice and chicken as a good diet. I'm joking. I'll put Merab in the A tier. Now, it's possible he's not on any sort of steroids, no sort of EPO, no performance enhancing anything, but he has such freak-like cardio. I'm just not sure how much I can believe that. I know it's probably his genetics as well. I could take as much EPO as I wanted, and I would not have Merab-like cardio, but I just can't believe that a human being can naturally have that level of cardio he does. Maybe he's doing some new sort of running that no other athlete has ever heard about. Maybe he's doing some crazy endurance exercise that they keep a secret in the gym that Aljo just doesn't have access to, his main training partner. Because even Aljo can't push that pace for 5 rounds. Aljo tries to push a heavy wrestling pace, and he usually loses those last 2 rounds from being gassed out. Maybe not against Yusuf Zalal, but Yusuf Zalal kind of sucks. But I don't know. I just can't believe that Merab, it's genetics, I know, but there has to be something more to that. So give me Merab A tier. He is the new CEO of EPO. Sorry, Usman. Now, we have Ian Gary. This is an example of what I meant for D tier. Ian Gary has no pop in his shots. He's fast, but it's not crazy fast. His physique is deteriorating as we speak since he's hopped on that vegan diet. Everything together, I just refuse to believe that someone could take steroids to have the physicality of Ian Gary. Don't get me wrong. He's a great, great fighter, but imagine taking steroids and ending up like Ian Machado Gary. You take steroids for your physique to deteriorate, for you to lose all pop you had. He's even getting slower. So maybe at one point he was on roids. No reason for me to believe that. But maybe if you want to say he was, maybe at one point he was, he definitely can't be on them now. If I hopped on roids and ended up like Ian Gary is now, I'm not going to say what, but you're not seeing me tomorrow. Anyway, now we have Aaron Pico. I think Aaron Pico is pretty suspicious. Now, nothing really, he doesn't have this crazy level of cardio that's just unbelievable. He has good pop, good power, but again, it's not insane. He's fast, he has good speed, but again, speed is more of a genetic thing. It's not a crazy amount of speed as well. What really gets me, though, is his physique. He's so dry, he's so lean, he has like that paper skin that's starting to maybe get me a little bit. And I know taking steroids, if you've been taking them for a while, and he's been an athletic venture since he was young, they make you age quicker, make you lose certain attributes quicker, and that may explain his glass paper wafer chin, one of the worst chins I've ever seen in my life. And maybe his chin isn't that bad. He does just run into spinning elbows. That probably chins anyone. He might just be a little retarded. My bad. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. But yeah, give me Aaron Pico in the B tier. I'm sorry. I can't believe fully that someone could have his physique while being natural, but he is a smaller guy. But still, he has that shredded, paper-thin skin as well that usually comes with like Anavar or something. Give me Aaron Pico in the B tier. Now, we have my GOAT, the king of Africa, DDP. We'll put him in the same tier as Aaron Pico. I can't talk about Aaron Pico's physique and then not talk about DDP's. DDP is a little more believable, though. He's not paper-thin skin shredded. He has an acceptable amount of muscle mass for his height. But what really gets me is that DDP is clearly a fast twitch athlete, heavy power. But usually that comes with reduced cardio. But he's pushing a pace in the 5th round. Now, typically for someone on paper, Anthony Smith, on paper like DDP, I put them in the S tier. But I think part of him pushing the pace so late in the fight is just a mentality thing. I think the way they train at the gym that he's at fries their brain cells so much. I'm pretty sure they get poked by electric cattle prods that they just don't know how to slow down. It's like, I'm not going to say what type of kid, but that certain kid in your class who was really strong for no reason. Maybe he was a little bit, he rode a different bus than a lot of people. I think DDP has that same mentality. He just doesn't know how to slow down. It's not a brute force cardio thing. He just doesn't know how to slow down. His body is slowing down, but his mind won't let him. So that's why he's only in the B tier. But on paper, he is an S tier steroid candidate. But I'll put him in the B tier for now. Next up, we have Petr Yan. I actually have Petr Yan in the A tier. Now, you may be wondering why. Let me tell you. Petr Yan was on a physical decline. All sort of physicality he was having was decreasing. His speed was getting lower. His power was decreasing. Then all of a sudden, he had this career resurgence. And I know it had a lot to do with skill. He's very skilled. But he had this career resurgence. And that's not what gets me. What gets me is that he also popped up with adult acne out of nowhere right when his career started turning back around. And all of a sudden, he's not gassing out in front of Merab. I know he had a hurt hand, but he was also gassed in that first fight. All of a sudden, he can push a pace longer. He's recovering from these injuries. He's not getting injured as much as he was before while getting older and having already had those injuries. I don't know. Something about that is just a little suspicious to me, but maybe he just happens to be training harder. Maybe that's boosting his testosterone training so hard, and that's what's giving him his acne. So we'll put Petr Yan in the A tier, but maybe I'm mistaken. Now, come on. We have Paulo Costa in the S tier. His whole thing is his secret juice. You can't expect me not to have him in the S tier. Plus, just look at his physique. He's the biggest, most filled out bodybuilding looking guy in the UFC. Now, do I think someone could look like that naturally? Yeah. Guys like me and Pablo. Guys like me and Paulo can look like that naturally. But what gets me is that he's also a UFC fighter. And I know he gasses out, but he has underrated cardio. He can push a heavy cardio pace for as long as he can while looking like an off-season bodybuilder. Not even off-season, really, like mid-season bodybuilder. I don't know. I just don't believe that's possible. I have, me and Paulo are built like that, but my cardio is not amazing. It's great. It's phenomenal, but it's not as good as Paulo's. So I don't know. I just can't put Paulo anywhere lower than the S tier. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe the whole secret juice thing is just a joke. I think it's a Freudian slip, though. Now, we have Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett genuinely looks like if HGH was a person. He looks like if someone gave a baby HGH and then aged them up 40 years. That's exactly what they would look like, Josh Emmett. Plus, he has gyno. No one ever talks about the Josh Emmett gyno. He has a whole boob hanging off his chest. No one ever talks about it. Plus his power. All he has going for him is his power, is his strength. He's genuinely the embodiment of a roided up UFC fighter. All he has going for him is his roids. He has a big, meaty right hand, fueled by that HGH. Give me Josh Emmett in that S tier. Another S tier candidate. Now, you may be wondering, why is a flyweight in the S tier? He's not huge. He's not jacked. He's not big. He may have the biggest boob I've ever seen on a man, and only on one pec too. Crazy gyno. Plus, all of a sudden, his gyno started getting more recognizable, started getting even bigger, and all of a sudden, he starts getting these finishes, and I know he has a lot of eye poke finishes. Bruno Silva was a nut shot to a finish. Aso Amabayev was the 1-2 eye poke combo to a finish. But then he colds Brandon Royval while having... Actually, I was wrong. It's not on one, by the way. I just remembered. It's on both. While having D cups on his chest all of a sudden, and he colds Brandon Royval... Pause. I did not mean to... Pause. Anyway. Yeah, give me Manel... We have to move... Oh, we have to move on. We got to move on. Anyway, give me Manel Cap in the S tier. Was that karma? Maybe he's not on anything, and that's karma for me saying that. All right, we have Islam in the C tier. Now, can we just move on? Can we forget what just happened? All right, we have Islam in the C. Stop. We're moving on. We have Islam in the C tier. Now, you may be wondering, why is Islam in the C tier? He has a good physique. It's pretty dry. He's pretty lean, but it's not unnaturally so. He's still pretty... He has a natural build. He's strong, but even a lot of fighters say he's not unnaturally strong, unless you're Bobby Green. Then you'll say it. But yeah, Dustin's he's not as strong as Habib. He's more, technical on the ground, but he's not a physical brute force. Only reason I'm putting him in C tier is that he's the best fighter at a gym where everyone flags for roids. He's guilty by association. He's in the C tier because no signs from him specifically, but he's on this list and not in the D tier because he's just, I don't know, it seems too good to be true almost that every single other fighter, maybe not every single other fighter, but all these other fighters at his gym keep flagging positive for steroids. and he's the only one who isn't, or one of the few who isn't, including his cousin. I don't think it's his cousin, actually. Yeah, his cousin. I'm pretty sure Usman Nurmagomedov is his cousin. Flagged for it. I think Islam might have early in his career, but ended up being something else. But still, it seems too good to be true. The best guy at a gym full of Reuters, he has to be on something. But I'm not going to accuse him. He has no signs of it to me. So we'll put him in the C tier. S tier, Bruno Silva. Finished twice, once by Manel Cap, once by Joshua Van, styled on by both of them. All of a sudden comes back against, I think, I can't remember the guy's name, but has a career best performance, knocked him down and subs him. Shows like he's the best performance of his life. Has a close fight with Charles Johnson, a great fighter, out of nowhere after being a kind of a stepping stone for the rest of his career. And he shows up to that fight with the most back knee I've ever seen on a fighter. One of the biggest signs of roid use, back knee. And all of a sudden he shows up with insane back knee. You're telling me he's not on steroids. Look me in my eyes and tell me he's not on something. We're putting Bruno Silva in the S tier. Hey, and if he's not on steroids, hopefully he can get some topical cream for his back, because that looks kind of gnarly. Gnarly, that's a good word. A tier for Mavzar. Mavzar's physique is just insane. He disappears for a year at a time. Could be cycling on and off. His physique is insane, and it only gets bigger. We don't see him for like a year, and he comes back. You think he might be at his natural limit, especially for a guy who's not completely focused on weightlifting, who is a UFC fighter, and he comes back, and he's even bigger, even thicker. And what really is convincing me is that from before to now, from like a year and a half ago when he last fought, to his most recent fight against Lerone Murphy, between that Aljo and that Lerone fight, his head got like 50% bigger, while his physique also inflated. And he already has like crazy delts, crazy traps. Everything about his physique looks juicy. Plus his head is growing. And he's somewhere where it's hard for him to get tested. And he disappears for like a year at a time. It's really guilty to me. Now, he doesn't have any telltale signs like Paulo Costa, who is a lot bigger than him and has the whole secret juice thing. He doesn't have gyno like Josh Emmett or Manel Cap. He doesn't have back knee like Bruno Silva. But he's too suspicious for me to not put him anywhere, lower than A tier. So give me A tier for Mavzar Evloev. Now, you may be surprised by this one. You're like, what? Yair Rodriguez, skinny Mexican? Give me Yair in A tier. Yair, a lot of people won't remember this, but he got removed from the UFC rankings because he skipped out on a drug test. The USADA was trying to find him, and I think he was in like some like Aztec like ruins or something. Not actually, but like he was out somewhere in Mexico and they couldn't find him, and he ducked a drug test. Then he comes back and has great cardio and doesn't gas out anymore after having cardio issues. That's pretty suspicious. I can't put him A tier because he doesn't have any signs of steroid usage. His cardio is good, but it's not like Merab level or anything. And Merab's A tier as well. But all the circumstances around his career have been pretty suspicious, so I have to put him A tier. It'd be a disservice to put him anywhere lower. Now we have, where do I put Mike Morales? I'll put him C tier. He's huge, and he manages to cut a lot of weight without losing his power, without losing his chin. Actually, it's like his chin has almost gotten better. Now, he is young, so that may help him with this, but he's huge, cuts a ton of weight, doesn't see any real drawbacks from it. I just don't know how he could be doing that naturally, but it is possible. There's no real signs of steroid usage. When he's big, he's also not super lean, so a lot of it is fat. He's not shredded while 230 pounds or anything. He's a tall guy. What's most suspicious to me is just the weight cutting, but that's more of an IV thing. That's not really a steroid thing, so we'll put him in the C tier with Islam. Whose shiny head is that? Kamaru Usman. I'll actually put him in the B tier. Oh, yeah, I'll put him B tier. He kind of has that DDP, same thing. He has good cardio. He can push till the last round. But he also has a great physique, a crazy physique, like DDP. So I'll put him in that same tier as DDP. Not too suspicious to me. I think people are overestimating the CO VPO thing. Now we have Izzy. We're going to speed through these last ones. Izzy, A tier, gyno. Can't explain where the gyno came from. Tried to make excuses from it. Pretty clear that he has his best performances when that gyno pops back up. S tier for Izzy. Tested positive. Rizvan Kuniev tested positive for steroids before in his career, before the UFC. So S tier, there's no denying it. He literally is just on them. And we have Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane, I'll put in the B tier. purely because his physique is crazy. While at heavyweight, he's like 240 pounds, I think, or something around there. While being lean at heavyweight, he's like 250 pounds just about. I just don't know how he could do that naturally while being a great cardio athlete, one of the best cardio athletes in the heavyweight division. And I don't see him being against cheating. After the Aspinall fight, I can see Cyril Gane eye poking someone, taking steroids, doing anything, and not having any drawbacks, against it really. So I'll put him in the B tier. Nothing outside of a good physique. Doesn't look super roided, just big and lean, but no like roid signs really. And him being willing to cheat puts him at the B tier, borderline A tier. And that's it for the video today, guys. Let me know if you agree with my tier list. Let me know if you think I got anything wrong. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. All right, peace.